Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at another coordinate example. This time it's going to be slightly more challenging. Okay, are you ready for this? Let's go and see the question itself. 3 identical rectangles are drawn. What are the coordinates of A is the question. That looks pretty challenging, right? We're trying to work out this coordinate. Many students jump in and do some things that really don't help them, right? So firstly, they're all identical rectangles. That's key to this question. But generally rectangles, we normally think about their angles and their lengths for most shapes, right? In maths, we don't have any of the lengths. So the first question I ask my students is, can you work out any of the lengths, right, of any of these rectangles? They're all identical anyway, right? So it doesn't matter which one you choose. They haven't given us much, so it must mean that whatever they've given us is what we've got to use to work out the length. So for example, they've said that this point here is 2 or -2. That point is -2. So if that point is -2, then how does that help us? You might realize that with coordinates, with graphs, we always have this point here where the x and y axes meet. That's 0, 0. So if that's 0 on the x-axis, right, this is the x-axis, if that's 0 and this is -2, we must have gone 0, -1, -2. And that means the distance between 0 and this vertex here is 2. We've just worked out the width of the rectangle. Does that make sense? The width of the rectangle is going to be 2. We don't know if it's 2 centimeters, 2 millimeters. It's going to be 2 units, right? So it's 2 units. What about the length? How can I work out this length here? Is it possible at all to work that out? I wonder. Well, I also know that on the x-axis, this is 0, but it's also on the y-axis. That's 0. That point is 0 on the y-axis, right? And the coordinates I've been given for the other point, which is here, right, or here, is -4. So I've gone from -0, -1, -2, -3, -4. That means this length here has got 4 units. What does that mean? Well, we don't know if it's centimeters, millimeters, and so forth, but we do know that it's 4 units. And so 4 units and 2 units, that's our length and width. If we now know that, that's going to really be helpful, because that means every single time I see this longer length of the rectangle, that's 4, that's 2. This is 4, this is 2. This is 2, this is 4. This is 2, this is 4. This length is 4. This length is 2. That's going to really help me work out my coordinates for A. Can you pause and figure out yourself before I go through with it? Help yourself by pausing and trying it out yourself. If you're not sure still, let's go ahead and try to work this out. Right, so if we know it's all 4 and 2, I'm going to get rid of these 4s and 2s just so that is a bit clearer for us. And I'll leave just the 4 and 2 there on the bottom left hand rectangle. What we're trying to work out is not angle, but we're trying to work out vertex A. What is the coordinate of A? Well, I know this is 0, so in order for me to get the coordinates of vertex A, I need to work out the x and the y coordinates. Now I know this is 2, so I must go 1, 2. That's the length of 2. This point must be 2. So the x coordinate, x and y, is how we write down coordinates, right? The x coordinate of A, I just worked out, is 2. The y coordinate of A is going to be up here somewhere. How am I going to work that out? Well, I know this length is 2, so I've gone from 1, 2. I know this length is 4, so 2, and I'm going to add 4 more. So 2 add 4 is 6. So the y coordinate must be 6 and the x coordinate must be 2. Now, practically every single question that comes up with similar type of question, they might use rectangles, right angles, they might use other squares and rectangles. The key to this type of question is always the same thing. Work out the actual distance from the center 0, 0 to a vertex. That will give you the length. There might be other ways that you need to work out the length, but generally, if you know what point one end of the rectangle or the shape starts from and goes to another point, work out that distance. That gives you the length. Work out the width, and then it's a case of just keep on adding the length or the width to get to a certain point on the graph. Okay, so have a go at other questions and let me know how you get on. Tell me if this helped you. So let me know in the comments if you think that this was useful and you've learned something and it's going to be used in future questions. Thank you.